I could just picture him using the staff and just slowly pushes Setsuna back a little bit because she's so small.
Like a chess piece.
Just like, I'm going to do that. Just back up just a little bit.
All right, we're back with some more of I Am Setsuna. Let's get everything ready because we got a boss fight coming up. All right, I want my team to be Setsuna, an IDR, an Endir.
So keep everyone nice and healthy.
I want to make sure I have Blow Beat active, which is the skill that an IDR and Endir can use if they have Sharing Sprite Night. And here we go. This is the Royal Airship that we need. This will allow us to reach the Last Lands. And now, the mysterious voice reveals themselves.
Little fellas.
Oh! Rydderch! Rydderch-a-derch.
Dirk.
Derp-a-derp. But yeah, this and the Aurorian Tiger are the hardest bosses in the game. No question.
Yeah, I do remember this battle.
The Aurorian Tiger because he can attack multiple times, and this guy because he has backup that, like, if you don't take care of the backup, you will quickly be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But when we beat this guy, we are in the Last Lands, so, like, after this part, I think I'm going to do, like, some of the, like, side quests.
Okay.
Explore around the world a little bit. I don't know if I want to do that all in one video and just, like, speed it up, or I don't know how I want to do that. But then I gotta, like, buff up my characters and get ready for the Last Lands because it's long, it's grueling, but I don't find it as tough as this.
I think I like the idea of, like, whenever it's just a grind to just go through it quickly, just because it's
okay.
Like, it's fun to play through, but it's really not all that fun to
watch. Yeah, I can gather that. But I also, for people that are, like, following along, to be like, hey, check this out.
Like, you can go here and do this, that, and the other.
So here we go. This is the battle, and these are his guardians. He's got, like, those two little angel guys.
Yeah.
And the two stag monsters as well. But if you use Blow Beat, there you go. That takes care of them all. So periodically, he will summon a few of them back.
Right.
But when they come back, just take them out quickly. Otherwise, like, he can get the full party back.
That happened the first time you were playing it. There were so many. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
Oh, and they're brutal. Oh, I died many times. This was during my first playthrough.
Yeah.
Whereas this is my first attempt in this playthrough. So we're going to see what happens. Keep in mind, I have that spiffy sword for Endir. So we shall see. We shall see if I emerge victorious. Because, like, Rydderch himself has a couple tricks up his sleeve. Because he has Osmose. We're going to Inspire so we can boost up our attack. Blunt Blow because, of course.
So it heals.
Yeah, it not only does good damage to
I
him,
definitely
but it heals everyone.
With this one, just keep your team healthy.
Yeah.
Just don't let them die.
Okay. Creature of light, I summon thee. So there we go. He only summons one at a time, but he'll do it quickly if you give him the opportunity.
Yeah.
So just immediately dispose of them. Shit. Okay. Lightning does not affect them. Only physical attacks. That was a waste.
Well, I also think because they're creatures of light, so anything with light isn't going to hurt them.
I could understand that. Alright, Blade Wave. There we go. Alright, that took care of him. Flare. Okay.
Rydderch is just like, you guys are all up in my space. I'm going to need you to back away.
6 feet. He uses the staff.
Just like,
6 feet, guys. 6 feet.
I could just picture him using the staff and just slowly pushes Setsuna back a little bit because she's so small.
Like a chess piece.
Just like, I'm going to do that. Just back up just a little bit.
All right, let's just give ourselves some room. All right. Ready? Flare.
I told my one manager.
Oh, that's cool. Radiance.
She is a very short, small, petite woman. And she was like, yeah, people are just like ignoring the social distancing and they're like really all up in my space. And I'm like, just wear a hoop skirt.
Yep.
Just bring it back. Bring it back in style.
Yep, bring it
They
back,
can't get
guys.
back in your space if you have, you know, a 6-foot hoop skirt.
I just kind of like sidestep and stare at them like not so close.
Oh, we have people that don't understand that. We'll
Yeah.
take a step back and they just step towards you. And it's like, I'm backing away from you. Like, please, that's not an invitation for you to follow me.
But like, it's not even like social distancing. It's just like my whole life is social distancing.
Yes.
Please don't be up on me.
I hate it when people are just in my space. I'm like, can you just not be so
I do not want to feel your breath.
Yeah.
That makes me very uncomfortable. But no, Rydderch knows Demi, which can actually, it's that gravity spell that Eterna uses that can like bring everyone together.
Yeah.
And does pretty good damage. So he'll space you out if he wants you to. It's just like, I said, social distance. He's got another one of these, so again, stop attacking him for a bit and just focus on that. Shit, I did it again.
Setsuna. She just stands there like, God damn it.
There we go.
She's like, I just really don't want to hurt anyone.
She's like, well, I tried. Did you?
Did you, Setsuna?
Or did you
try?
spare?
So I just realized from looking at like her hair
this part
right
sucks.
now, she has like a bun cover that I didn't account. Oh, she did.
Yeah. Well, he did spell stream, so now for the rest of the battle, Rydderch casts 2 spells during his turn. So when he does spell stream, he's just like, oh, 1 spell per turn isn't enough? Let's do 2. See how you can handle that.
Yeah.
So this means we're close to beating him, but it also means like he's pulling all stops.
But I didn't account for her little bun cover and the hair pieces that I'm.
Oh, okay.
Oops. So I don't know if I should rework it or just like not have a little bun cover.
Maybe it makes it just wrong enough.
Yeah.
This isn't Setsuna stuff.
It's not her. See, I don't have
It's
a little
Setsuna
bun.
stuff. John Cena.
That's not Misty. That's Foggy.
Jesus Christ. That's not Zelda.
That's
Hilda.
Zelda. For some of
Sabrina.
oh my god, for some of my little paintings, like some of them look amazing,
You
where
can
they're
see
just
the
like
entire
spot
wall
on.
in one of our shorts.
And then yeah, I don't know how we got that shot. I tried to set it up again and I just couldn't get it. But some of them are amazing and like, not to like toot my own horn, but they look like pictures from the actual shows or games. And then other ones I'm just like, it's pretty off. Like, I didn't want to.
You got like the face and like the body and stuff.
It's just the colors are wrong. Yeah.
Whereas Zelda, I'm sorry, but
she doesn't look like Zelda at all.
Like with the exception of like the Triforce symbol, you could switch that and you'd think it's an original character.
Yeah. She's pretty bad.
It's just she's taller and her face is different. You get drunk, she looks like Zelda.
Oh, poor Zelda.
All right, we got him. Thou art indeed worthy. And there we go. We've defeated Rydderch. First try on this playthrough.
Boom.
I learned from my mistakes from my first playthrough. All right, so for our reward, we get an airship.
Talk about a reward.
Woohoo! Yeah. So you know when you get an airship, you're near the end of the game because you can go anywhere now. You can go backwards. You can go to like the secret areas. You can have an epileptic fit because the flashes
appreciate
just
that they
happened.
have like the Om symbol up there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Alrighty. So here we go. The World Key. So with this, we can now open all of those mysterious chests in the world. And that's what I'm going to be doing in the next video. It's like going through, speeding through. I don't even think we're going to do commentary. I think I'm just going to like speed it up and be like, hey, this is where all the stuff is. Join us in the last lands on the next part.
Just
And I
that
think
way
that's
you
how we're
can
gonna
still
do it.
see like where everything's at and how we get to where we got to and all the cool stuff that you get.
Yeah.
But
it's not going to be as fun to watch.
Yeah.
With commentary. Because, like, I've noticed that, like, some episodes I'm like, man, we're really funny. We're booking it. And then other times it's just like...
Granted, I understand some of those times.
Do you think that pun was funny? Let's say it again. How much
Yeah.
left of the episode?
Well, sometimes, too, like, we both just get off work or,
Yeah.
like, we're getting ready to go to work or we just woke up and it's just... My allergies are bad and I can't see out of one eye and my face is leaking.
All right, well, hang on. We get to name this airship. Kerr wants to call it Kerr the Magnificent.
Huh.
But he's saying, oh, we don't want to just call it the Royal Airship. We need to give it a lovable name. So, of course, we're going to get the option to name our airship.
Huh.
Which is similar to a specific Zelda game where you get to name your horse. You're like, name your character. Name your horse. All right, so Deange is the default name. Let's give it a name that really represents this channel.
Oh, boy. Popcorn. Popkernel.
Popkernel.
Oh.
It's our Popkernel. All right, here we go. I hereby name this ship Popkernel.
Wesker's like, that makes me want popcorn.
Shh, shut up, IDR. Can't even say your name.
I know, we just have to spell it.
We just have to spell it.
Could you imagine if our names didn't create a sound, but we had to use just all the letters?
Warren.
M-A-N-D-O.
Y-O.
Mando. M-A-N-D-O.
M-A-N-D-O. Okay. W-R-E-N.
I kind of like it.
It does roll off the tongue, yeah. M-A-N-D-O. M-A-N-D-O.
Yeah,
there we go.
M-A-N-D-O.
And Mando was her name, oh.
Oh.
There was a girl who broke her back, and Mando was her name, oh.
Aw.
M-A-N-D-O.
I can't even say it was one time.
It was one time.
Actually, it happened about 3 times. That's fine.
There was a girl who's cute as shit, and Mando was her name,
Aw.
oh. M-A-N-D-O. M-A-N-D-O.
Except for when my one eye is closed.
You just
shut,
won't let this song
and just-
finish, will you? Forget it. Moment lost. Best part of the sandwich. You ruined it.
Ruined it.
Hey, nobody lives here. Well, all right then.
I feel like Wesker's done with my shit. He just got up and
So this island was entirely pointless.
walked away and laid down away.
He's like, all right, social distancing.
Well, it's because every now and then as he's sleeping, I'll like lean down and scratch his ear.
He'll be like, none of that.
I'll be like, please don't touch me.
So here we go. Popkernel, go! Oop. Okay, that's the world barrier.
Or not.
Dink. Dink, dink.
Kernels are popping.
How do you feel about world barriers? Do they bother you? Do they make you feel restricted? Or are you just like, okay, that's the end of the map?
I mean, it's gotta end somewhere, right?
That's what I'm like! Why is
Like-
that a big deal?
I mean,
Oh, the
come
world's
on.
so big, but there's gotta be borders. Well, yeah.
Like, how much do you want the developers to do? They can only do so much.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
I prefer quality over quantity.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, sure, your
sometimes you
world's
get lucky
big,
and
but
you get
where's the
both,
depth?
but like, yeah, I would much rather have something that was like really fun to explore and really dive into than just like a lot of stuff that
Yep.
just is there, but there's nothing to do.
Breath of the Wild sitting in the corner. It's just like, go ahead, say it.
I've never played Breath of the Wild, so like I have zero.
Because like there's
Opinion
other
on
open
it.
world games that like I'm similar with. The later Assassin's Creed games are like that. I think there's one called like Lord of the Rings: Shadow of War,
But yeah, I have
which is like that.
zero opinions on Breath of the Wild.
Final
because I've never
Fantasy
played it.
15 is like that. And like I give Breath of the Wild a little bit of nitpicking flack.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy 15 was just like this is boring.
I think that...
Because you, like, get into a car and, like, you can let someone else drive, and I'm just like, so I'm sightseeing.
So, and it's like, again, I don't really know because I've never played a fully open world game like that.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I can imagine would just be like, okay, what do I do? Well, whatever you want. Okay, well, where do I go? Wherever you want. And it's just like, I need direction. How do I get strong enough to beat the boss? There has to be some sort of push in some direction somewhere to do something. But then it's also like the idea of like you are completely free to explore and stumble upon those things naturally.
Yeah.
But if you're like me and you have zero sense of direction or where you've already been, and I just walk around in a circle, I'm like, look at this, it's a very new place. No, you were here 3 times already.
That was the falling part with both Final Fantasy 15, but mainly Breath of the Wild. Was like it started strong. I'm just like, wow, I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
I can climb this mountain. I can glide through here. This is amazing.
But like your reward
and
for climbing
eventually
the mountain
I found out
is
I
that
came in a giant circle, broke all my shit, and went right back to square one. And I was just like, well, that's fucking stupid. Because I just went in a big circle, and I was just like, and down here, this looks familiar. Oh, I'm back here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go this way.
I can like imagine.
And there started to be this realization that things were just copy-pasted in different spots, and I was just like, not a fan.
I can imagine the challenges that come with that, and I know for like for me personally, I struggle. You can't land there.
Can't land on trees.
Aw. The trees are like, hey, that's the foliage. I know, like, for me personally, I need some hand-holding when it comes to games.
I don't need hand-holding, but I like that feeling of the exploration is the reward, not just something that's given to me right off the bat. I like when the world opens up. It starts small, and it builds up.
That
and it's
also
just
makes it interesting.
Cool. So now I can go here. It's that Metroid part that I really like, that design of, like, oh, this looks neat. I'll come back to it later.
Where are we going? Speaking of running around in a circle.
I'm trying to look for an NPC. I'm trying to look for something. I don't see much of anything. I didn't even see a treasure chest. Hello up here. Oh, here's a fella. It's a sad boy. Aw. Oh, Jesus.
And this game it has some dark
I had
ideas.
A monster who was a friend. He could hear voices. He told me to run away.
And then he jumped in this lake and died.
The end. What the fuck?
I know. But I can also really appreciate that they're not sugarcoating some of these things.
Yeah.
Like, he jumped in the lake and turned into a fishy, and now I just sit here, so I'm with him.
Well, that's because
he jumped into the lake and he died.
A Japanese-made game. If it was American-made, they do something like they turned into a mermaid and swam away. It's like...
I was reading a book.
It's like changing, she pricked her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and died, to she will enter a
fell
sleep
into
like
a deep
death.
sleep.
I'm just like...
Oh, but don't worry, she wakes up and she's still young, and her prince is still young, and it's fine.
I think that was the first time I ever rage quit a movie. I revoke my curse. I said, yeah, no, not for me.
As opposed to the actual fairy tale where she's molested in her sleep and gives birth to twins while she's in the coma.
Chair just to see the ending, because like they wanted to show me like the ending twist of like what True Love's kiss actually is, and I was just like, actually that didn't bother me nearly as much as I revoke my curse.
Yeah.
I'm like, mistress of all evil, everybody.
Yeah.
Can't even control her own goddamn magic.
But I was reading a book. Shocker, I know.
Go on.
It's called A Tale for the Time Being, and it was a really, really, really great book. And it dove into some cultural things that I'd really like to research, but I can definitely believe.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my goodness, it's so big.
That big one came out of nowhere.
He's got a little plume.
King Pengy. Alrighty.
But it was just about how, like, basically it's this Japanese family who moved to America, and then the father like lost his job and they had to move back to Japan. And it's like the parents associated as Japanese, like they knew they were Japanese, they belonged there. But the girl, the daughter, grew up in America, so she viewed herself as American, being foreign in Japan.
Gotcha.
And just like the cultural differences of like living in America to living in Japan. And the father was really, really depressed, and he actually tries to kill himself multiple times throughout the book. And it just like doesn't work. Like he just fails.
Oh.
Not
like
in
that
not in like the funny way.
Oh, okay.
But it's like
Trying to cut myself with razors, but I can't get the goddamn package open.
Yeah, it wasn't meant
Throw
to
myself
be,
in front of a train, but Amtrak hadn't run here in 10 goddamn years.
It wasn't meant to be funny, and it's not funny in the book. It's actually really upsetting because the daughter is basically like, you can't even do this right.
Aww.
And like she's sad, like she doesn't want her father to die, but his failures are just making his depression worse.
Aww.
And saying like in Japan, suicide is an acceptable death.
Yes.
Versus
the whole forest dedicated to it.
So, and it was just like something to me that I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even think of that. Like that's something I personally am very passionate about, is like suicide prevention and awareness and just mental health awareness.
Oh, it's very
and
kind of like something we want to prevent up here.
Yeah.
But in other cultures,
whereas
it's kind
other
of like,
cultures
hey,
it's like it's a rectifiable death. It's not shameful.
Right.
And just like the way she was talking about it in the book, I was just like, oh shit. And then she was saying like the whole time it's a woman reading the journal of this little girl. And she's saying like, oh, I'm going to die next month. Like I'm going to kill myself next month. And before that happens, I'm going to write the story about my great grandma.
Okay.
Like that's the whole point of this book.
Okay.
It was really good. I would recommend it for anyone that kind of likes, memoir style fiction. It's not a true story. It didn't actually happen.
Oh, okay.
It is, a fictional story. But it was really good, and it made me want to look up the like cultural differences of like
how
suicide works in different cultures, just because it is such a sensitive topic in the United States, and just kind of like.
Well, I feel like it's sensitive anywhere. It's just treated differently.
I feel death is sensitive anywhere.
Yes,
but it is like we put a lot of emphasis on shame.
Yes.
Like it's shameful for either the family, the survivors. It's shameful for the person who committed suicide. So it's just interesting that like in a different culture, there's no shame in it.
Exactly.
And it's just like, to me, that blows my mind.
Whoa! We're not just gonna fight more of these.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'll do that off camera or some shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, sorry for the darkness there. It just like made me think of like how Japan is just like, yeah, my friend died. And then that's it. There's no like, oh, they turned into a mermaid. And it's just the idea of death and dying is really interesting based on cultures.
Like, not just that, but like, there's also the aspect of just like, death in America can sometimes be seen as like ghoulish or creepy. Yeah. Whereas like in Japan, like there's cherry blossoms. There's like a thing of beauty there.
Well, I also
that's symbolic.
Genuinely think that it's a lot based on faith, religion, spirituality. Like in America, everyone is such a melting pot of cultures where it's like, oh, when you die, nothing happens. You rot on the ground. Right. When you die, you're reincarnated into something else based on the actions that you did throughout your life. When you die, you go to heaven. When you die, you go to hell. So like all of these different ideas that create a fear and an uncertainty in a lot of people. So it's like we tend to fear death and dying.
Do you fear
death?
Do you fear that dark abyss?
Yeah. Whereas, like, in a lot of other cultures, there's not as heavy an emphasis on the melting pot aspect. Most people tend to believe the same thing or similar things. So it's not as scary of an idea.
Okay.
And there's also, like, in the U.S., you know, a parent or a loved one can die and you just kind of like, oh, that's sad. And, you know, you grieve and then you get over it and then you just don't think about it ever again.
Right.
Whereas I know, like, in Japanese culture, traditionally, I don't know if this is still accurate for today, but you would have memorials set up. You take offerings to the idea and the spirit and the memory of your loved one. You light incense and candles, and you still speak and interact with the idea of them.
Okay.
So it's just like, they're not gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think it's a really interesting difference that I want to explore more, especially when it comes to a book series that I'm currently working on writing.
Okay.
To get the idea of death and dying in the afterlife for different cultures.
Yep.
So, any of our 3 people that watch I Am Setsuna,
yeah.
If you know of any literature, blogs, books, or people from different cultures that know anything about death, dying, and the afterlife,
yeah,
hook a girl up.
Yeah. Let us know. Someone named Deep Throat calls, I'd like to meet you in the parking lot. I got some details.
Jesus.
It's like, well, alrighty then. Now we're making a little bit of progress because we went from like just Josiah to like a little bit more, especially on videos
and
outside of gaming cats and dogs.
We still love you, Josiah.
Yeah. Is it Josiah or Josiah or
Josiah? Again, I only met Josiah briefly from work. We worked together, and it was like my last 2 days at the business was his first 2 days at the business. And I don't really know him all that well, so I believe it's Josiah with a J sound.
Gotcha. Our first pupper. We'll just
yeah. Yes. He's our number 1.
Yep.
Get that kid a t-shirt.
But yeah, we're slowly growing to where like we're getting. We used to be excited that it's like, oh wow, this video got 20 views.
Yeah, now it's like, holy shit,
wow.
That video's at 700 views.
Yeah, that video hit 100 in 2 days.
Yeah,
really,
and it's really exciting. Like, so keep sharing, keep telling people, you know, if you enjoy us and you have friends that might enjoy us, share us. I'm not even mad about some of the
I'd say
comments.
Recommend games, but I'm so flippy with what games I want to play that like I'll put them on the list, but don't expect them anytime soon.
We will get to them though.
Yeah.
You know, it took 9 years to get to Partners in Time.
Yeah. You weren't a part of like 8 of those 9 years.
No, I was not. But it won't take that long, but we will eventually get to it.
But I know, like...
Same with movies and books and anything you want to see from us. We do this channel not only for us, but for you guys.
Yeesh. We're slowly building a little community. We're not aiming to be, like, big-time YouTubers.
We just want friends.
We want friends.
Be our friend.
Be our friend.
Share pictures of your pets.
End. Yeah, really. Well, I guess we can talk about it here. We're thinking of adding a Discord.
Yeah, to kind of like wean ourselves off Facebook because not that many people are really using Facebook anymore.
We don't like using Facebook. We like check on our closest friends. At least I do. A couple memes, and then
I check on some of like my family that isn't in the area that live like across the country. Check on them, like check up on the kids and stuff.
But
and then I
was streaming and someone was just like, you should have a Discord so like your viewers could also share some of the stuff that they do.
I would love that.
Like the videos that they make, the games that they work on, stuff like that. I
would love that. Anyone here that has a channel that does that does creative things and they make content, like let us know. Like we want to follow you too and be friends, you know. See what you're doing and show you what we're doing and communicate and collaborate and have fun.
Little Discord community. Yeah. I have no idea how to run it because I'm usually just on Discord. I have no idea how to run.
And that would be all you because I am stupid with technology.
I'd still make you a moderator. So
I would be able to communicate.
Say shit that you didn't approve. You'd have like authority to like ban them or give them a warning.
Which we're not real big on that. Like even some of the negative comments we get, you know, people are entitled to their opinions.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. But if it's like a bullying issue.
Yeah, if it's like picking on someone.
And something that is just inappropriate, of course, we're going to shut that down.
Ongoing, we're going to be like, all right, toodles.
It's a safe place. We are a safe community.
All right, so soapbox out of the way.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys at the last land.
Now I'm
the
feeling all
next
philosophical.
Video,
Dang it.
the next video, we're just going to speed through all these islands and stuff. And then when we come back for the commentary, it'll be at the last lands. All right?
There we go. All right.
Alrighty.
Toodles.